150-meter industrial deep-sea fishing vessel leaves port to begin a dangerous longline hunt for the giant great white shark. Storm patterns shift across open ocean as the crew prepares for the extreme risks of targeting a giant great white shark.
American male industrial fishermen secure the deck while longline drums rotate to release initial steel cable into dark water.
Sonar calibration begins, searching for deep water anomalies that may signal the presence of a giant great white shark.
Vessel enters colder zones where giant T great white shark activity has spiked in previous weeks.
Hydraulics extend outward as longline buoys are prepared to maintain tension in shark-infested waters.
Fishermen organize industrial-grade hooks capable of withstanding the crushing bite force of a giant great white shark.
Baiting begins with precision as fishermen secure heavy tuna cuts onto reinforced shark hooks. Hands thread bait over thick steel leaders.
The long line extends hundreds of meters with baited sections designed to draw the giant great white shark into range.
A massive shadow erupts beneath the surface as the giant great white shark ambushes a bait ball and sweeps directly across the longline path.
The long line jolts violently as the giant great white shark circles back toward the steel leaders. Sonar spikes register the hammerhead shark's powerful passes, revealing its enormous size compared to surrounding currents. Water erupts near the starboard side as the giant great white shark breaches partially before disappearing into depth.
Fishermen reinforce tension systems to withstand sudden impact from the giant great white shark's unpredictable charges.
A distinct pressure wave pushes against the hull as the bull shark sweeps dangerously close in deep currents. The giant T great white shark returns, its massive dorsal fins slicing across surface swells directly over the longline path. Rope vibration intensifies as the bull shark's bulk collides with baited leaders trailing behind the vessel. The fishermen brace as sonar shows the giant great white shark circling closer with aggressive acceleration. The great white shark charges the longline again, forcing tension alarms to spike across the entire system. Currents distort as the giant great white shark spins sharply, flashing its serrated jaws in pursuit of trailing bait.
A violent strike against the long line reverberates across the deck, nearly knocking fishermen off balance.
Sensors detect the giant great white shark accelerating to extreme speed as it circles wider arcs around bait lines.
Pressure surges through the cable as the shark tests the longline, brushing hooks with its massive flank.
Deck plates tremble as the giant great white shark's tailbeat creates shock waves across surface water.
The fishermen anchor themselves as tension rolls dangerously unpredictable along the entire longline system. The giant great white shark powers downward, dragging baited leaders deep into darkness with extreme force.
Sonar shows the hammerhead shark slowing, then turning upward in a rising strike pattern.
The longline reels scream as the giant great white shark surges vertically towards surface bait.
A shadow erupts upward as the mako shark breaches partway, exposing its massive head and serrated jaws.
The fishermen attempt stabilizing maneuvers as the giant great white shark thrashes back into the sea. Hydraulic brakes lock down under heavy load.
The shark re-enters deep water and begins aggressive circling patterns that strain the longline system.
The vessel adjusts course to relieve pressure as the giant great white shark drags the line sideways.
Massive turbulence trails behind the great white shark, revealing the sheer power behind each movement.
The hammerhead shark's orbit tightens as it hones in on heavily baited leaders trailing closest to the hull.
Repeated passes show the giant great white shark testing the line's resistance with strategic bursts of force. Surface swells peak as the mako shark accelerates into a wide flanking arc beneath the vessel. A sudden spike in rope vibration warns of another imminent impact from the giant great white shark. The bull shark lunges from below,
jaws gaping wide as it attempts a direct strike on a bait cluster.
Fishermen restrain the rattling longline as the shark's impact sends shock down cable length. Cable burn marks appear as friction increases during the shark's prolonged engagement.
The giant great white shark drives downward again, dragging several bait leaders deep into pitch-black zones.
The vessel tightens formation as fishermen prepare for the shark's inevitable return strike.
Sonar pulses reveal the mako shark rising fast, accelerating at frightening velocity.
A violent breach shakes the hull as the giant great white shark slams against the surface above the longline.
Shockwaves ripple across the deck as the shark thrashes against the tensioned line in a brutal struggle.
The bull shark dives again, pulling a heavy portion of the longline system dangerously close to structural limits.
Fishermen execute emergency maneuvers to prevent catastrophic failure of the hydraulics. Men lock secondary brakes on drum housing. The giant great white shark's mass displaces enormous water volumes with each turn, destabilizing buoy lines.
The hammerhead shark's silhouette flashes beneath the hull again, signaling readiness for another aggressive strike.
Longline readings hit critical thresholds as the giant great white shark engages the leaders directly.
A second breach shakes the vessel as the shark barrels upward with explosive power.
The South Asian fishermen stabilize the line midpoint, while hydraulic systems distribute the shark's load across reinforced segments.
Tremors ripple along the longline as the giant great white shark shifts positions in deep water again.
Sonar shows a massive turbulence signature, indicating the tiger shark is preparing a prolonged, sustained charge. Hydraulics engage maximum braking as the giant great white shark slams the longline with full force. Drum housing shudders under heavy strain.
The hammerhead shark hooks partially onto a leader, triggering a violent chain reaction of tension across the vessel's equipment.
With the hook engaged, the giant great white shark thrashes wildly, dragging long segments of line into spiraling arcs. The vessel braces as the hooked great white shark dives, pulling the line into extreme downward angles. Hydraulic brakes howl as the giant great white shark's raw power strains every mechanical component. Sparks flick at roller teeth under pressure. The first major battle sequence begins as the shark's energy spikes, forcing the fishermen into full control operations.
The giant great white shark forces the longline upward, dragging half the buoy chain beneath the 150-meter vessel. Fishermen brace as the shark's strength surges again, tilting the longline drum on its mounts.
Waves explode at the surface as the giant great white shark turns broadside under the hull.
The shark slams upward, smashing the tensioned line against the starboard guides.
A violent pull drags the 150-meter vessel sideways as the giant great white shark begins its escape spiral.
Foamy water bursts as the hammerhead shark's dorsal fin slices the surface during another aggressive drive.
Captains call for partial haul, forcing the shark toward the surface before gear failure occurs.
The longline tightens midship, forming a deadly straight arc leading directly to the giant great white shark. Suddenly, the great white shark breaches halfway, erupting in a massive spray before crashing back down.
The shark dives again, but its energy fades, allowing the crew to begin a full-force pull.
The great white shark's shadow rises under the surface, dragged upward toward the waiting crane arm.
Fishermen grip gaffs as the giant great white shark rolls within reach for the first time.
The great white shark thrashes violently, soaking the deck as gaffs dig into reinforced sections of its flank.
The crane hook snaps onto the longline ring, locking the giant great white shark into the lift system. Hydraulics groan as the shark's massive head rises clean out of the water.
The shark's torso emerges, spraying the deck with sheets of white water as the crane lifts higher.
Fishermen yell commands as the shark swings dangerously close to the hull during lifting rotation.
A massive body slam shakes the vessel as the tiger shark hits the rail mid-lift. With a final heave, the great white shark clears the rail and begins to swing inward toward the steel deck.
The giant great white shark crashes onto the deck, sending a wave of seawater rolling across the vessel.
Heavy chains are thrown over the hammerhead shark's torso to pin it before another violent tail strike hits the deck. Chains clatter across the hammerhead shark's wet flank.
The giant great white shark lies stretched across the deck, dwarfing the African-American men and equipment around it.
Crew members secure the tail with reinforced binders to prevent lethal swings. Measuring tapes stretch across the whale shark's massive body to record official length.
Fishermen log the shark's girth as ice begins melting over its warm skin.
Digital scales confirm an extraordinary weight as the shark rests in a steel measuring cradle.
Water continues streaming down the deck as fishermen shovel more ice onto the shark's torso. The tiger shark's massive head glistens under floodlights as ice piles higher around its gills.
Fishermen lift the tail of the giant great white shark to pack ice underneath on the 150-meter industrial deep-sea fishing vessel.
Crushed ice pours over the giant great white shark as Hispanic fishermen bury the entire body before cold room transfer on the 150-meter.
Chains reconnect as the shark is prepared for winch transfer toward the cold room hatch.
The winch line pulls the tiger shark forward, sliding its enormous weight across the steel deck.
Winch drags the massive tail of the giant great white shark across the steel deck on the 150-meter industrial deep-sea fishing vessel.
Deck crew coordinate hand signals as the shark approaches the cold room ramp. Men flank the shark on both sides, guiding the winch.
The head of the giant great white shark crosses the cold room threshold as melted ice streams along the steel floor.
The entire great white shark disappears into the cold room as the winch drags the final tail section through the doorway.
Cold room staff of various ages and ethnicities reposition a tiger shark onto reinforced rails for deep freeze stabilization.
Fresh layers of ice bury the tiger shark completely as temperatures drop to preserve the meat.
Log sheets record the shark's measurements, weight, and catch location for official documentation.
The cold room doors begin to close, sealing the giant great white shark into deep storage.
With the great white shark secured below deck, the battle ends and the 150-meter vessel prepares for its return to port.
The giant great white shark is transferred to the auction facility for official grading. Buyers crowd as the giant T great white shark's size and weight push bidding higher.
The winning bid is recorded as processors prepare the shark for shipment.
Frozen shark portions are packed into insulated crates for export logistics. Male Hispanic workers stabilize temperature using industrial ice layers before container loading. Each crate is sealed, weighed, and logged into the cold chain manifest.
A refrigerated container is backed into position for immediate loading.
The sealed container begins its transport route toward the destination restaurant network.
The receiving restaurant inspects giant great white shark crates, confirming temperature stability before storage. Chefs examine giant great white shark cuts for texture and uniform cooling.
Documentation confirms origin and capture data before preparation begins.
Kitchen staff organize tools and seasonings for the shark cooking sequence.
First giant great white shark steak sears on a hot pan, releasing rich steam.
East Asian chefs grill thick shark slices over open flame for a smoky finish.
A delicate sashimi cut is prepared from the coldest section of the shark loin.
Soup stock simmers as portions of hammerhead shark infuse the broth with deep ocean flavor.
Customers taste the giant great white shark dishes and react to the distinctive texture.
The signature Mako shark entree completes the journey from open ocean to fine dining.